Disturbing new evidence has emerged in the Jay Slater case that shows that the people who last saw Jay Slater alive might know more than they are letting on. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a video. So cyber sleuths have tracked down Ayub Kasim's Instagram, and it paints a horrifying picture of what really happened to Jay Slater. So this new photograph taken by Ayub, who is the host of the B&B Jay Slater was last seen at, shows 3 people standing on slabs near a path. But a closer look reveals that these slabs match up perfectly with the hiking trail in Masca. So to jog your memory, Jay Slater traveled 23 miles north of his hotel in Los Cristianos near the Energy Music Festival to stay with 2 older British men in a remote part of Tenerife known as Masca. So on his way there, Jay posted a snap saying that he was traveling to that location with the 2 men to sell an AP watch he had just stolen. The private investigator said that he got scared and had to leave, so Jay tried making the 11-hour hike back to his hotel at around 8 a.m. on June 17th, only to be never heard of or seen of again. So this photo is quite sinister because it is the location of where Jay Slater's phone last pinged. It was revealed on GB News that his phone was found deep within some vegetation that you had to use a machete to get to, so it was likely thrown there.
He thought where the ping came from was rather surprising because it was really steep to get to and it was covered in undergrowth and cacti, and he said to get there you'd have to need a machete, or he suggested someone had thrown the phone into that undergrowth.
So how I interpret this photo is that the men appear to be mocking the investigation into Jay Slater's disappearance because they know they got away with it. You can see one of the unidentified men appear to search for Jay, while another sort of has like a smirk on his face, almost like they are just making fun of the fact that they will never find Jay. The photo was posted on June 21st, 4 days after Jay Slater's disappearance. And one user pointed out that the men appear to be posing as the 3 wise monkeys. The one on the far left sees no evil because he's wearing sunglasses. The middle is, covering his ears to hear no evil. And the one on the far right is covering his mouth to speak no evil. This symbolism basically means that they are covering up something evil they've done by avoiding evil thoughts and deeds. So on the same photo set that was posted on June 21st is none other than Ayub Kasim himself on the steps of the B&B in Masca where Jay Slater was last seen alive. So one can assume that he was the one who took the photos of these 3 friends. The 3 men in this photo are unidentified, but people are speculating that they might be substance runners because Ayub Kasim has a history of doing that in the UK, and he spent 9 years in jail over being convicted for this exact same thing. And the 2 young men would get lesser sentences if they got caught. And after getting outed on social media and people taking a very close look at this sinister looking photograph, the Instagram went private. Ayub's profile name reads Quack Quack, which is apparently slang for crack, and it sounds the same too. The bio reads, quote, "To move a mountain, you've got to start by moving the little stones first," end quote, which is a bizarre bio, but it implies like he is doing some traffic, if you know what I mean. We know by the timeline of events that the 2 men at the Airbnb were questioned by authorities and were cleared and sent back home a couple days after Jay's disappearance. So by the time this Instagram account made this post, they were already back in the UK and free. It appears one of the most early posts in the Jay Slater case that was deemed as fake seems to be gaining more credibility by the day. So this text was sent to Jay's mom, Debbie, and tells exactly what happened, and the person wishes to remain anonymous. So it says here, "Hi, Debbie. I was on the flight to Tenerife with Jay, Lucy, and Brad. Became close with them. We started meeting them each night at the festival on. And then on Saturday night, my mate and Jay tried to get Coke, but Jay said he literally had no money left. On Sunday night / Monday morning, me and my mate went to Brad's hotel at 5 to 7 in the morning to chill. And on the way, me and Brad contacted Jay to let him know we were coming. And he mentioned he was going to try and come back to Brad's and meet us there. And then we received a FaceTime call from Jay on Brad's phone as he left. And he left with 2 small kitchen knives as he didn't feel safe, because he previously mentioned to us in a Snapchat message that he robbed an Audemars Piguet watch and said he was going to sell it from 10 quid or 10,000 pounds. We believe this is to pay off a debt, as he said on Saturday night he had no money. On Wednesday, my friends visited the Potter Paper coffee shop, and a Somalian man mentioned to us that he had a long night giving a police statement as his friend's friend had gone missing. And he was the last person seen, as he was the man who drove him to the apartment in the small white rented vehicle. He took it upon himself to mention this. They did not know who he was. His story, he told us, seemed scripted and was stuttering quite a bit. He said they offered Jay a lift home the next morning, but Jay took it upon himself to leave, which again we assume was to meet me and Brad and my friend back at their own apartment. I will attach the photo of the Somalian man we spoke to, which was taken in the club on the Sunday night where Jay can be seen. Yeah, and that photo is quite blurry, but to me it looks like Ayub Kasim in that photo. Here is the photo of Jay on the way to sell the watch. So the snap reads, quote, "Yes, cuz ended up getting thrown out of there with 2 Molly kids, just took an AP off some C word on my way to sell it for 10 quid, end quote. So it appears as though Jay went missing when trying to sell a watch in a remote part of Tenerife with these 2 men at the B&B. So what gives this message even more credibility is the fact that Ayub Kasim, the man who was one of the guests at the B&B Jay was last seen at, and the man who took that sinister looking Instagram photo, is friends with the rapper Potter Paper. So you can see them side by side here. There is Quack.Quack1, which is Ayub Kasim with that crazy Instagram photo, which I think is quite disturbing. And then we have Potter Paper, a prominent rapper, right beside him. So they were apparently childhood friends, and Ayub was a part of his crew. The reason this is significant is because Ayub may have actually worked at Potter Paper's cafe, or is a frequent regular there because his friend owns that cafe. So the text message saying that this person spoke to a man who was last seen with Jay at the cafe seems to be really adding up here. I also read in my comment section, yes, I read all of your comments, that 6 weeks before Jay Slater went missing, the cafe was robbed. And the thieves took a video of the robbery, and they appear to have stolen a Rolex watch, among other things. It's also interesting to note that Potter Paper's cafe is followed by a Johnny Vegas. And this isn't the one that everybody thought it was. He also appears to be holding the cigarette the same way as Jay was at the B&B. So people are saying that maybe Jay never made it to the B&B and someone took the photo to make it seem like he was there. This man Ayub also appeared in a random person's photograph a week before Jay Slater went missing. And many people are speculating that the woman he was talking to was Jay's friend, Lucy May. So cyber sleuths have pointed out that whoever this is in the photograph appears to have the same mole as Lucy. But the private investigator appeared to have debunked these claims since they are in overlapping shadow. Also that Lucy has a second mole near her armpit, which this girl doesn't have. And Lucy was not in Tenerife when the photo was taken. But that didn't stop people from speculating that Lucy may be a runner of sorts, because her Instagram profile, where she posted a photo of Jay Slater yesterday, appears to show that she is into travel and transport, and people are taking that as sort of like a euphemism for, traffic. The private investigator, Thomas, seemed to have verified the theory that the B&B host had something to do with Jay's disappearance. So the theory goes that the two British men were friends with the man Jay stole that AP watch from. So the two British men befriend Jay, telling Jay that they will buy the watch from him. So the British men took Jay back to the B&B to do this sort of transaction. That's when Jay overheard the two British men talking to the man who got his watch stolen on the phone. So Jay took off, realizing that he's been set up. The theory goes on to say that the police then do a cover-up of Jay's kidnapping because they were also related to the person who got their watch stolen. Yeah, and basically the private investigator who is very close to this case and has been investigating for quite some time, Mark Williams Thomas, basically confirmed that this theory, well, parts of it are actually true, and they both have received the same evidence. Anyway, what do you guys think about this Instagram post 4 days after Jay Slater disappeared on the trail that Jay disappeared from? Do you think it's like dropping a major clue that they had something to do with it? Sound off in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to hang out with me and Miss Gabby, the best private investigator on all of YouTube, by hitting my face here. And let's roll the outro. Bye, guys.